Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today what I want to do is take apart one of these George Foreman grills. Very excited about doing that. I grew up watching the advertisements from the famous George Foreman, American boxer, and very popular in the 90s and still popular today. You can find these in stores. His famous slogan, "These lean, mean, fat grilling machines would knock out the fat." Well, today, Tin Man's gonna knock out the scrap. So here we go. The nice thing about these Coleman grills is you can bring them in to a scrapyard as is and get appliance weight price. They're about 6 cents a pound, and this one right here does weigh 10 pounds. But before you do that, there are some goodies inside. Each one of these grills, just like any other grill, has cast aluminum pans, and cast aluminum right now is going for about 45 cents a pound. However, before you take them in, you do have to separate. If I put a magnet to it, there is some magnetic force there, and that's because each one of these does have a heating element or coil behind it that needs to be separated. If not, these would go for dirty cast, which is only about 6 cents a pound. So definitely reducing your price. So what I want to do today, very excited, take this apart, show you how to separate the goodies and how to maximize your profit. So here we go. I'm going to just focus on this one for today, and I've already removed the exterior shell or screws just to speed up the process. If I take the first panel off, as you can see, there is our famous George Foreman signature, his promise of lean, mean, fat grilling machine. The idea was to have a catch basin down here. Because it was on an angle, the fat would drip down into that and you would not be eating all that fat. For my UK friends and Australian friends and anyone else around the world, they are just like your other grills. The components are the same, so hopefully you can relate, and again, hopefully get a chuckle because this guy loved them. Great advertisement and very popular item. This panel is plastic, unfortunately. There is some wire on here, and this wire in Canada would go for 60% copper recovery. And what we look at in Canada is we look at copper to plastic ratio and copper recovery when we talk about wire. Because this is single strand and there's only one coating of plastic, there is more copper. So currently in Canada, this is going for $1.89 a pound, which is great. There's definitely not going to be a pound worth, but what I do is I store it up, separate it, and I put it into my 60% copper recovery. It also has always an electrical cord. This cord in Canada, appliance cord, would go for 40% copper recovery. Because if I look inside this strand, there is 3 different strands that have their own individual coating, as well as the exterior coating. There is more plastic, less copper. So this right now is going for $1.28 a pound, which is still a great price. It's actually pretty close to a pound because it's got a really nice head on there. Some people will take the brass prongs off and separate them. Brass right now is going for $2.85, which is great. I do separate these and put them into my brass. I have a video on taking prongs off. I separate them, store them up, and definitely build up weight quickly with these. So it's up to you, but a 40% copper recovery appliance wire, so you do want to make sure you separate those. After taking the panel off, I do have 2 separate individual grilling tops. As I said, these are cast aluminum. And if I take it up to the camera, as you can see, there is my heating coil right there. And that does have to be removed because if I put a magnet to it, it sticks. So I'm going to get dirty cast price. So very simple to do. I'm just going to take this out. There is like a prong thing that I have to take out here just to make sure I can release it. They don't want these grills falling out, so it's just a pin that I'm going to take out. pliers. There it is. So there's just a little steel pin that holds in the plate. Make sure I have that. And if I take this out, which I'm going to do, good quality item. Make sure they keep it in here. There we go. There we go. Work it out. Just going to cut the cord. So there is going to be the cord that goes all the way through the back to heat this. Okay, another really nice grill from the top. Just removing this. As you can see, there is the nice big one here. Unfortunately, this is plastic, but there is definitely some stuff I want to get. And what I'm going to do is, to get this out, I do have to remove the screws because there is a little bit of steel here too. But easiest way to get these coils out, and you will find these on a lot of different heating frying pans, and you know, it's very easy to take them off. I always chuckle or cringe when I see someone taking a pile of these in as is because they don't have the time or don't understand how to take it out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pair of quick grips here. You can buy these anywhere. And all I'm going to do is I want to fasten this to the bench. Okay? And what I'm going to do is when I do that, that way it won't move. And I'm just going to take a hammer, and it could be a screwdriver. It could be a pry bar. I like to use one of these. And all I'm going to do with the hammer is I'm just going to feed it underneath and keep hitting it up. Okay? Once I start and this coil starts coming up out of the little holders there, it will be easy to do. I could just feed it all the way around. And the nice thing about these coils here is they are the same price. You can actually bring those into the scrapyard individually. You can bring them in with your coils from ovens. There is a separate category for those. So you definitely don't want to throw those out. I know some people do throw them in their steel pile because they are magnetic, but there is a separate category. So it's up to you. I don't think it's really that much of a difference in price, but it depends. There are also some brass prongs on these wires that you definitely want to pull off. But here we go. I'm going to start. Just gonna clasp this to my bench. Hopefully you can see it. Set up. Now make sure that it doesn't move. Okay, and I'm also gonna move my camera for you here, so that way you see it a little bit better. So I make sure I put my safety glasses on, and I'm just gonna, this coil right here, I'm just gonna put a hammer under it, and or a pry bar. Take my hammer, just gonna put it under and just pull up. So I just used leverage of the bench. So now it is up, and I'm just gonna use, make sure this is not going anywhere. Okay, and as you can see, it's already going up, and I just have to now feed it all the way. Okay, and now because I'm getting to another spot where it's secured, might have to put a little bit more elbow grease into it, might sometimes have to hit it with a hammer again, but doesn't look like it. Okay, I'm just going to work all the way around here. Okay, so there we go. It's just, hope you could see that with my arm in the way. I'll make sure I don't pinch myself. But as you can see, it's just sliding out of there. And I'm going to go all the way around. Okay, and I'm going to even move this for you so you can see. Look at that. Look at how easy that is coming out of there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this for you so now you can see it a little bit better. I love these quick grips. You could use a C-clamp. You could use your vise, but I find when it's in my vise, it's harder to do on an angle. So I love that this is fastened to my bench. Okay, there we go. Keep going with that. So there we go. Does take a little bit of time, but hey, you're looking at a difference between 45 cents a pound and 6 cents a pound. It's probably taken me a minute, 2 minutes to do tops. There we go, almost out. There we go. So now, take this out of my clamp. I put a magnet to it now. As you can see, it is no longer magnetic. So this is going to be cast aluminum. Move my camera back over here. Okay, and obviously I have to take out the screws. But that is for all of them, okay? So I'm gonna have 3 of these plates. This one, there's probably, out of this, probably 8 pounds of copper, or of cast aluminum there. So definitely gonna make a lot more money, okay? And I'm also, because that was easy, that was one of them, gonna do that for all of them. I do wanna also open up the bottom here. There is a little bit of coils that you're gonna get. Okay, just cutting this out for you first so I can move it around. Okay, but definitely, like I said, a lot of wire in here. There's heating elements. You're gonna have separated, and this is actually kind of heavy. This is probably 7-8 ounces by itself. Interesting, if I cut that, or if I scratch it, one thing you're gonna see here is there is like a small brush, it looks like, of copper on that, and then underneath metal. So unfortunately, this is not gonna go as number 2 copper. You can see it looks a little bit like copper at the top, but this is not copper because, as I said, putting a magnet to it, copper is not magnetic. All right, so I'm just gonna open up the bottom panel here on this because definitely wanna make sure there is a little bit of plastic going to the landfill, unfortunately, but I wanna make sure that I get as much of this scrap as I can. Okay, the heating element is going to go all the way down, and I do need, for this one, some safety screws or some safety Allen keys, and I'm going to quickly talk about that. Some appliances, some electronics, they use a special kind of screw. As you can see in that, it does have like it's a star, and then there's a little circle in there. So these are special security bolt screw sets. I just got this at Canadian Tire. It's just a security Allen key set, security key set. Very cheap, but they are definitely come in handy because a lot of appliances like microwaves and things like this, you know, they're designed to keep children and people out of the danger zones. So I do know some people like to grind them off, but I find this is a lot better than grinding. Okay, but hopefully I get my last bolt in there. Okay, why are you not going in now? And unfortunately, I will say, these can become a little greasy. All right, well, 2 of the bolts are out, so I'm just gonna put a screwdriver into this. Unfortunately, the other one is stubborn. I'm just gonna hit it with a hammer. Oh, there, beautiful. So, you can see there is a little bit more wire. There is inside of here 2 silver contact boxes. And what I want to do for the sake of the video, because I love talking about silver contact boxes have some silver in them. They have a little bit of spool of copper. So for those of you that are not familiar, or sorry, I call them silver contact boxes. They are actually called relay boxes or relay switches. But again, I call them silver boxes because they have silver. So first of all, I've got to just find my screwdriver, the right one for that. It's a very small screw. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. As you can see, there's a lot more wire. There is a little bit of brass in here. Some nice silver brass or gold brass, we call it clean brass. Okay, so there's some more brass that I have to take off, a little bit more wire. Okay, look how nice that wire is. Okay, but I do want to take one of these contact boxes off. Very simple to do. I'm just going to take a screwdriver. I'm just going to pop one of them off. Okay, and this is on a lot of different circuit boards, a lot of different appliances. You'll see them. Okay, very easy to identify. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to break it open. I'm just going to break this box open and show you where the silver is. Okay, very easy to do. It'll just break open, there we go. And as you can see, I'll start revealing it now. Just a plastic box. So there will be a nice little spool of copper. And if I turn this, pull it out, there you go. On the top there, that dot there is silver. Okay, and there will be usually two of them. There'll be one, there's one underneath that. You can see it, I'm just moving the camera. There it is there. So what I do with that silver is I will break it off, I'll put it in a little vial, and hopefully one day I will hit it with some nitric acid. But that copper that you see there is gonna also go into my number 2 copper. It looks like a little bit, but I assure you, every appliance that you get, it adds up. Right now, number 2 copper is going for $4.60 Canadian, which is great. I just put it in a bag, and as I said, adds up very quickly. Okay, so again, unfortunately, there is some plastic, but definitely maximize your profit by taking out those heating coils, getting the clean cast aluminum. As I said, about 7 to 8 pounds of it times 45 cents. A lot better than bringing this machine in by itself. You have the copper wire, you have some 40% copper recovery, some 60% copper recovery, a little bit of silver, and again, more importantly, another appliance diverted from the landfill. Hope you enjoyed the video. Mr. Foreman, loved your machine. I have one here that still works. We use it. Shout out to you, my friend. Great boxer. Loved watching highlights and you fighting. But again, can you match Tin Man? Hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next video. Tin Man out.